Hello, everyone. My name is Jayesh Naithani, and today we have Mr. Uday Bhosale with us. He is the head of customer experience and service at Hamilton Group, majorly the name behind brands like Milton and Trio. So he's been there in the retail industry for a very long period of time, and he's one of those humans behind the CX for transforming the customer experience and giving that human touch, talking about data, talking about the blending technology, a lot of transformation which is happening within the retail sector. So, welcome Uday, welcome to the second episode of Humans Behind CX. Right. Thank you so much for your time over here. And, it's great to have you here. So, a little
Thank
bit
you.
about yourself, Uday, that would be really helpful for the people out there.
Sure. Thank you, Jayesh, for inviting me for this event. And my best regards to you, SurveySensum, and everybody at the organization. So, good way of getting uh, experts on such panels to discuss on what they have learned, what they have implemented. So, it makes the way for people who would want to improve customer experience or start something uh, in regard to capturing customer feedback. At least it's the first part of the journey. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Uday Bhosale. I currently work with the Hamilton Housewares, which owns brands like Milton, Trio, Claro, Milton Pro Cook. It's a houseware brand, plus Milton Appliances, which includes Euroline, which is one of our internal brand, which deals with electric home appliances. Uh, Before working with Hamilton, I have worked with likes of Eureka Forbes, American Express, Payback, as well as Next Retail from Videocon, as well as TCS in my early careers. Uh, I have been an CRM enthusiast for the past 20, 25 years now. And of course, I love what I've been doing, not only managing and setting up customer experience platforms and dealing with customer complaints, call centers. I enjoy trying to get transformative changes done wherever I have worked to ensure customers are whoever dealing with us are satisfied and their their customer experience is enhanced at all attractions they have. Either I have worked with phygital setups, digital setups, or pure retail setups as well. So be glad to share my 2 cents to whatever questions Jayesh will ask today.
Perfect. So, just to start, Uday, retail where, the end customer is pretty unknown to, brands like you. You've been there, as you mentioned that you were working with Eureka Forbes and you're working with Hamilton at this point of time. So I've seen retail is one sector which is, you know, very different from the other sectors which we've seen, like BFSI or I would say auto or any kind of a thing. So I wanted to understand from you first that retail has evolved drastically in the last few years, and it has seen a lot of changes. So what are the biggest shift you've seen in customer experience over there in the retail sector?
Yeah, it's indeed a great question. So, retail has indeed undergone a seismic shift in recent years, driven by technology, changing lifestyles, and even global events like the pandemic, right? So, I think what we have to check is there has been a seamless omni-channel customer experience which has evolved now. Customers now expect a fluid transition between online and offline channels. Many customers would, of course, browse their mobiles, check the product, see the product recommendations, and would want to actually go to the store, have touch and feel, and then either buy wherever he wants. Maybe he wants to buy it online or pick up at the store, right? Then there is lots of hyper personalization, right? And thanks to AI and data analytics, now customers expect tailored communication, tailored recommendations, offers, and even content based on their behaviors or their preference and purchase history. Customers also expect kind of speed and convenience. So the likes of the Blinkits and Zeptos, they expect 10 minutes of delivery, and not that's not only fixed to those quick commerce delivery, but they would expect even a Milton or whatever brands who are delivering products through e-commerce or D2C deliver in 10 minutes now, which is of course a huge challenge, because what the
Absolutely.
quick commerce is doing, it's on a different platform altogether. The
Correct.
customer expectation has risen now at that level. So to match up to that is quite a big challenge for retail industry. The evolving customers, the Gen Zs, are now more focused on ethical practices or sustainable practices. They would give weightage to products or the way services are delivered. They
Hmm.
wouldn't mind spending an extra mile, extra bite for healthy product or
Correct.
uh, sourced through sustained uh, environmental changed setups, like the factories which we operating,
Correct.
are
Yeah.
they in the green zones, or
Hmm.
the even the plastics, like Milton has
Correct.
units of plastic, is it BPA free, is it the first grade plastics, would it be uh, any would it cause any health issues? So customers, not only Gen Zs, even our baby boomers are now very health conscious, and they would give preference and don't mind spending more to get such kind of products which are more ethical. Uh, Customers also feel that they they expect the brands to be more transparent, right? So we explain the customers proactively what the return policies, what the product's warranties will cover, and not hide any facts from the service perspective, which would really be appreciated by the customers, right? I guess these are some important changes which I have noticed in the industry in the past few months. And of course, the pandemic helped a lot, and many industries have also washed out because of pandemic, right? So
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. See, if you're talking about pandemic, that was one of the most, I would say that actually changed a lot of industries, changed a lot of, style of working to people being health conscious to every kind of a thing, right? I would say that was something which has transformed every single human being on the planet at this point of time.
Correct,
So
correct.
that's a different shift altogether, Uday. And you know, in the previous years, you might have seen that families used to prefer seeing the product first and then buying,
Mm.
right? They were like, even if I talk about my parents at this point of time, if I'm ordering something online, so they have this thing ki, let's see that thing first, if we can go to the store, see it, and then we'll see whether that is perfect or not. Because online buying, I would say, is still there within our generation. It's very prominently there. It has drastically improved. So if I ask you that, you have customers both online and offline, right? So, how do you define a good experience, like, within a retail brand like Hamilton Houseware?
Yeah. So I will speak not only about Hamilton, but generally also as well, with my experience with Videocons, Next Retail, or with
Sure.
Eureka Forbes. Uh, let's define the old definition of online and offline, right? So what we currently provide in retail is friendly store staff, right? That's something which is basic hygiene, clean
Correct.
and organized physical space,
Hmm.
a quick checkout process, or
Hmm.
a basic post-sale
Hmm.
experience that you provide warranty, you provide service at home, whatever, right?
Correct.
Now, in the omni-channel era, the new definition, what the customers expect, I would say they expect a seamless integration across channels.
Correct.
Customers expect a unified experience, whether they are shopping online, in store, or via mobile, or through any quick commerce, for example, right? They uh, uh, they, they don't want to see have a scene when they have seen a product and an offer on a mobile phone, and they visit a store. Sorry sir, ये तो online का offer नहीं है, ये
Hmm.
store में है, sorry ये stock में नहीं है.
Correct.
So the inventory availability, the real time access to inventory, which a retailer has to be uh, has to work on to make it available so that the customers have an unified experience. He sees it on the store. The same product should be available if he walks into the store, right? If he sees on a mobile platform,
Correct.
the offer which he is giving should be available for customers who is working at the store as well, or maybe
Absolutely.
sweeten the deal, right? So real-time inventory visibility is something which every retailer should work on. Then I would say personalized engagement, how brands can do tailored recommendations for customers, both on online and offline. And the brand experience altogether is very important. For example, if you know about Ola, uh, uh, the brand advocacy was that when it started, is that the drivers should greet the customers saying Hola, which is
Correct.
hello for in Spanish, right? It never happens, but they have lost it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Indigo, for example, Indigo tries to portray itself as a very youthful airline, right? So
Correct.
it comes across when they announce when you enter the flight, even while before takeoff, they mention boys and girls. So they want to communicate that they are a very young, youthful organization. So that brand communication should be uniform across all channels, the call center, the retail store, or online platforms. So a consistent brand experience is very important, right? Then frictionless support is something very important, where you provide support to a customer at the as per the channel of his choice. So the young Gen Zs would prefer it doing self-service. Are you available on a bot, on a WhatsApp bot, or on your help pages? Are you available at the call center for people like us, for baby boomers, yeah, for old people who still prefer writing an email or a letter? We have some customers still writing letters. So that experience to a customer who is writing a letter should be the same like somebody is coming on an email or a WhatsApp, right? So you should have ability to implement a omni-channel CRM platform which caters to all these channels and gives the same unified experience. And then even this support and the service, for example, the home service setup for appliances, customers now prefer that the retailers or the brands provide service at their doorstep. How comfortable as an organization you would be. Of course, there are different categories which need home service, and customers prefer that. So if you are giving that kind of service, the customers would give you a preference. So all these points, I guess, are something which is changing, and it's comparing to online and offline industry as well.
Absolutely. See, bang on what you said, that creating that omni-channel experience is very much important. Like, I'll just give you an example which has happened with me as a customer, because see, we are advocates of customer experience. But at
Yeah,
one point of time now, if I say, since we've been working in this industry, wherever we go, we have an observational eye.
yeah,
Right. Even if we are at the store or doing something online, we see that glitch, we see that problem, from any service executive greeting you, helping you. We find that particular, we have that observational eye, so we find that gaps. We see that where exactly we can learn as well. Right. So just to give you an example, that there's this, clothing brand, right, which is both online and offline. So they have an application where you can purchase, you can do the online shopping. But I saw a gap where exactly, the visibility in store of what you've done as an online purchase wasn't there. Right. So once you get yourself registered over the application, and once you get registered over the store, these were two different activities altogether. Right. So
okay.
even when the executive there on the store did put my number, he was pretty much unaware that I've already been a customer thrice on the application.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. So this was a major kind of a gap, though it's a not much old of a brand, a little bit new, I would say, 3-4 years in the industry. But again, I at one point of time, if I feel that you need to capture your customer, you need to make sure your customer remains yours. You need to be there, and you should be 10 step ahead of what exactly the customer thought process is.
correct.
So coming down to a little bit on what exactly we were talking about, the gaps over here, right? We've been You also mentioned a couple of gaps which you feel that these should be looked upon, these should be covered up. So if I say that, what are the most in general retail aspect, not just in Hamilton perspective, what do you think are the most common gaps what you've seen, these retail brands face, or uh, what actually a customer is actually demanding, but still is not there at a lot of retail perspective?
Yeah, so before asking this question, you already answered that. And that is the biggest disconnect, which is the omni-channel disconnect. We have made available multiple channels to make an
Correct.
omni-channel experience,
Hmm.
but we are not able to get to the bottom, to the ultimate experience of omni-channel, to
Hmm.
deliver what the system is built for. So there is a huge omni-channel disconnect, right? Uh, while the intent is to have a seamless integration across online offline,
Correct.
you often find inconsistent pricing, promotions, product availability across channels. Yeah. So many customers just end up saying, I saw this offer online, but store won't honor it. So it's
Correct.
the biggest disconnect. So how
Absolutely.
do you solve it? I mean, can your store staff also have the access to the same CRM, same CDM, where he knows who is he's talking to, what the customer has searched, and why he has come here? So he's more equipped and more empowered to provide the experience which you have built the system for.
Correct.
The call center guy would also talk to the customer at the same level. Sir, I've seen you have visited our store yesterday and you have seen this product. How do you like it? I
Hmm.
understand you were a bit concerned about the lid. Do you think product Y, which has a lid with these features, would help you? So what happened at the store was also getting uh, captured, and the call center person, the agent, is able to take it on to the next step, or vice versa. This is the
Okay.
biggest disconnect, and if we solve this, we are going to really achieve almost 80% of the problem. Then
Got it. Yeah.
personalization versus privacy is something very important. Post sale service support, which is missing. I guess you buy a water purifier, for example, it is delivered to you within 4 hours, right?
Hmm.
If you want, we can also have somebody like a quick commerce deliver it to you within 10 minutes. But then what's the use if it is not installed? I
Correct.
can still drink the water from a water purifier,
Hmm.
unless, and it is not an easy task. It requires expert guidance.
Absolutely.
So you will have to have a system driven through your CRM to ensure that somebody, if is delivering in 4 hours or 1 hour, within maybe a 2 hours or a 4 hours, you also might as well install it, so that
Correct.
customer gets to taste the pudding and the cake as well, right? Otherwise, it's of incomplete experience. So I guess
Absolutely.
very important to have this kind of communication and provide that complete end-to-end experience of delivering as well as installation, and have the customer taste the entire experience. Then in-store experience is something very important, where uh, customers walk in, and can you provide a personalized approach. If it's an omnichannel platform, and
Hmm.
the customer provide his mobile number while at the billing or the till or at the counter, can you tell, hello Jayesh, I saw you were on the website and you have come here to check the product. I'll be glad to help you. It's a personalized approach which you can provide with the
Correct.
tools you
Yeah.
already have in hand.
Hmm.
So I think this is very important, where you can create an in-store experience, and you using technology, right? How you transition between both online and offline with seamless UI and an end experience which helps the customers enjoy the entire interaction with you as a brand.
Got it. So we were talking about agents over here. We were talking about front end people. So my next question would be related to that, Uday. So how do you manage and train your team to think? Because see, in retail, a single customer can have multiple journeys, like many journeys. Right. So how do you train and manage your team accordingly to have this thought process that a customer can have many journeys, and rather than many customer one channel kind of a thing? So how do you train them accordingly?
Yeah, so we'll have to train the agents to understand uh, the customer's perspective. So, for example, in my previous experiences where we had in-store as well as online experiences, we are trained to understand, train the agents to understand the customer's perspective on why he has come to us, what kind of complaint. Not only the call center staff, but also the retail staff, right? So, although what I have done was almost 10 years back when the new age tools were not available. But currently, what is available with what is how we have evolved as a technology, uh, uh, we'll need to train the store staff to provide the experience which is matching to your the brand ethos and culture. So if uh, as a brand I'm saying namaste at the store when I greet customers and I fold my hands in the Indian style, for example, Shopper Stop or next retail I used to do it, where we greet customers with a namaste. Uh, why should the call center say hello, right? So a cultural shift has to be made where when we greet customers in namaste, uh, thank you for reaching out to Unicorn's customer service or brand's customer service, and provide us the unique same kind of experience. And we training the agents. The most important part is how to show empathy and how to draw that thin line between empathy and sympathy, right? So that's where I think uh, we have be able to cross uh, miles while training the employees at both online offline call center to understand how to relate to the customer's query, how to use those words which will help customer diffuse the situation. Of course, the product process knowledge training has to be in place uh, for everywhere where you want to set up this customer service process. But the empathy, like using words, I truly understand how frustrating it could be, right? Which is putting yourself on the customer's shoes, not just like, for example, if you call any call center now, any brand, I can't name the name. I'm so sorry. The way the agent's tone comes up is, I'm sorry to hear that, and I apologize if if the tone is not matching your emotions, the customer comes to know that he is just reading from the script. But using your voice modulation techniques, which is very important when I train my customer
Absolutely.
service staff, is how to use your voice emotions modulations to put across your emotion to the customer is very important, which
Mm.
I have practiced before. And I think empowering the agents, like I've seen many customer service teams using words, sorry sir for your for the mistake, for the delay, we will put across this to our x and xyz department and they will revert back to you. So there is no ownership, we are putting some blame to the department. This is completely a no-no in the process where I have developed. Sorry, sir, I see this has been delayed for 2 days, and I understand it's leading to huge frustration for you because you had so and so things planned. However, let me take this control. I'll ensure I speak to the relevant SCM team right now to understand where is it lying, and I'll do most possible available tools to ensure it's delivered to you by hand delivered through a porter. Like today only, we had delivered one order through porter for a customer who was waiting at the delivery center. So going out of the way for some customers who had placed a huge bulk order for Diwali. I cannot have the experience spoiled because there was some SCM challenges. So how I can solve it? How can I put that extra money to invest in that transportation to have it resolved? So to imbibe this culture not only at the call center but also at my SCM teams, the SCM team has to be charged enough to ensure he is responsible for customer experience. So
Correct.
one important thing which I have implemented and learned from companies like Zappos,
Mm.
where ensure every CXO is spending some time, some at least a day at the call center taking calls, right?
Absolutely.
The marketing head, the finance head, the SCM head, or the CEO as well has spent time at the call center listening to calls, taking calls. You have some examples where Dipinder Goyal has delivered food for Zomato customers. So he understands what's happening to the end customer and the experiences. So I guess applying those principles and putting up processes where uh, the top leadership understands the customer's pain points and delivers the process to the call center or the retail outlet or the SCM delivery center, where it is a common culture driven top down, which
Mm.
is more customer focused is something which is important and which I have used multiple times.
Absolutely. See, I totally agree, with this thing that even anyone from the top management, like, I'll give you an example. One of my previous organizations, right? So, I had a field sales team, right? So our bosses had a mandate of doing the meetings in the field on a monthly basis, right? They were supposed to go with the executives to the prospect, just to make sure to understand whether the executive and the prospect is actually getting, or the executive is making him explain what is the right format of explaining is, right? So that was more towards a training purpose as well, and to understand how the market scenario is changing at this point of time, or how actually the entire dynamics in their particular sector is changing. Right. So
Right, absolutely, absolutely correct.
I would definitely agree, and this is something I would suggest everyone that this should happen regularly, because see, the more you move up the funnel, the more, I've seen organizations, or the leaders getting disconnect with the bottom, or I would say the ground level aspects.
Yes, absolutely. In sales as well as service, until the leader is on the field, he will not understand the market dynamics, right? So we have to be close to the customer because I've seen in my experience 25 years, I've learned many processes while sitting on the floor or while talking with the customers. I've evolved processes where I have taken calls and understood customers pain point, because there are many silos which gets created when you are on top and there are different teams or different barriers before you understand the process.
Agreed. So, talking about these things, Uday, I have a, very, it's a simple but yet very, complicated question. So, retail is majorly about, scale. Like, there are millions of products, there are millions of buyers. Right. So if you're talking about empathy at scale, like if I talk about that as a topic, so what do you think how practical it is? Right? How, because see, for me, if I say as an individual, I'm dealing with 100 people, 200 people, right, on a daily basis. So how do you think how practical it is in terms of creating any kind of a policy, or any processes within the organization? So what do you think? And a person who's the front line for the brand, how much do they follow, or how do you measure that these things get followed regularly?
Yeah, quite a serious question. It's quite possible, and it's been done across many organizations, not only in India but elsewhere as well. And the biggest roadblocks, I would say, is the siloed systems and data. We have legacy systems
Academic topic.
which don't
What do you
interact with.
think how practical it is? Yeah, go on, go on. Sorry, my bad.
Sorry. Yeah, it is practical. Uh, uh, Once we have systems in place which where we are able to connect it with AI based algorithms tools. For example, Flipkart recently during pandemic, they used an AI based algorithm to provide tailored communication, tailored offers for customers, and it's worked well, right? Uh, uh, Outside, if you look at uh, Disney, Disney World, they have a very specific experience, not personal as such, but they kind of provide a AR, VR based experience. So it's quite practical doing it. You'll have to get rid of old systems and technologies. So siloed systems, siloed departments often cause a major roadblocks. So you'll have to check or improve those systems to provide uh, uh, to to, to remove these disconnected platforms, which leads to fragmented customer data, inconsistent inventory problems, poor visibility across channels. Why can't we have a unified CRM, POS, ERP, which allows the data flowing across all systems, which is made available to all channels, maybe online, to a delivery center, to the call center? It's quite possible. So removing legacy infrastructure, making it more updated with real-time updates using API integrations. Uh, then inconsistent service standards. Can we train the core staff or call center agents, online support teams on how to manage different protocols, right? How to avoid uneven experiences, which we as a company has designed or developed. Uh, Removing the roadblocks on making the real-time inventory visible is something very important. Then we'll also have to check how do we remove cultural barriers like channel-centric mindset. Many customers or many companies have very like for example, old organization who have generally done business through general trade, they have a very channel centric mindset because most of business has been historically done through those old channels, but customers have evolved now to quick commerce and e-commerce. You have to break out those channel centric mindsets and make your products and service available and matching to the customer expectations as per their new channels. Avoid that resistance to change and have a more customer centric thinking across the company, which where decisions are made which not for only internal convenience but which is driven through customers requirement, customers needs. It's very important. And many companies who have avoided investing in post sales service or investing in a call center, for example,
Hmm.
now many of us have realized that mere having your company visible on customer service channels, social media
Correct.
channels,
Hmm.
is not even requirement. It is bare minimum, a basic hygiene. Otherwise, you won't survive. I remember I just bought a second-hand remote, and that company was able to provide me a warranty online as well as offline. Small organization just providing selling remote for TVs online, but they also understood the need of being available and providing the support through a customer service channel as well as a delivery unit to service the product if required. So I guess people have breaking the barriers and coming out of this, and I think large organizations have no other way out. They have to adopt to these cultures to create this one customer many journeys which you spoke about some time back, where you have to develop a customer centric culture, develop your processes while having a customer in center. What a customer wants, does he want it, the product at his delivery, at his home? Are we available at near his center? By within how much time can we deliver a product or a service? Do we have that capability? The customers have to provide that customer centric approach, customer centric journey across all channels, and develop that culture across the organization, across all channels as a company, and cross train the dreams across all channels and develop the KPIs which are centered across towards the customer.
Got it. So there's a question for you there. Someone who's watching is asked a question. So it's a little bit on the technical side. So like some companies are driving towards hyper connected ecosystems, right? So how do you build systems to make empathy adaptive? Uh, you mentioned earlier that empathy means to anticipate what the customer might need next. Right. So, so how do you build systems on an adaptive empathy process? Like
Yeah, to
how are you
scale.
doing it?
Yeah, so I understand this is more of scaling with empathy, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So of course it's a difficult task, but you with the current uh, improvement in the system with AI technology available, which is agentic AI, you can humanize through data. So use customer data not just for targeting, but to understand the customer's context, like life stage, preference, past issues. Segment customers meaningfully, like first-time buyers, repeat buyers, or cross-selling opportunities. So if you are a retail store selling multi-brand, multi-product, uh, uh, multi-brand, multi-products, multi-category products,
Hmm.
you know this customer is a first-time buyer, repeat buyer of a same washing machine. Can you
Hmm.
give an upgrade based on data analysis? Uh, if something has gone wrong, can
Hmm.
your agentic system proactively create communication models to communicate with customers to avoid further escalations? Can we blend automation with human touch using AI for routine tasks like order tracking, for uh, FAQs? Can can AI take on those tasks, and whenever the AI feels it's leading to an emotional outburst, can it seamlessly transfer to an human agent, so that the emotional context is preserved and emotional support is provided by human instead of an AI. So finding out the emotional connect disconnect during conversation can be done completely using augmented approach of human and AI. Uh, Empowering frontline teams, not only the call center but the frontline teams at your call center, at your retail store or at your delivery center, where a customer has returned to a store. Can we provide a replacement immediately without any hiccup? Can we provide some leeway to an agent or the store staff to take a decision without going through that multiple approval processes? If it's a genuine need and the agent is empowered to take a decision, he is able to empathize much better in a short span of time. Can we believe, can we put in processes in place to ensure that we believe your own employees to take decisions in view of customer experience improvement? Of course, there would be pitfalls where it could be mismanaged or misused, but you'll have to devise policies and process in such a way it is not misused. You'll have to also listen actively. I think to scale up, when we use uh, tools which are provided by company like SurveySensum, right? When we gather customer feedback, gathering is just one activity, but improving is something which you have to do. Of course, companies like SurveySensum, which develops these products, also provide these services, where might after a transaction you gather a feedback, maybe good, bad, poor. How is the organization you are working on it? Are you asking verbatim questions? Of course, everybody asks verbatim questions. What improvement you have done is very important. For example, in all my previous organization and currently as well, I am gathering CSAT and understanding and putting focus on detractor analysis.
Hmm.
What my
Absolutely.
detractors are saying,
Correct.
what are the pinpoints, because they have taught me that what were the pain issues. So we have a process where we do a detractor analysis on all channels, at the store as well as the call center, through email, on the calls as well, what the customers are rating as for unhappy or unsatisfied, what were the reasons behind it. Now, based on that analysis, can I change my process, can I change my product? One example is something: customers were unhappy with our hit retention of a particular product, and we have done some analysis. We zoomed in to find out a category, then into a product, and we
Hmm.
improved some uh, process enhancement, product enhancement at the factory level to ensure those leakages are arrested, and the ultimately within due course of time, within 6 months, the product uh, heat retention capacity improved as promised to a customer of 24 hours. For example, at during my earlier experiences, there were some loopholes in customer communication at the call center. Uh,
Hmm.
like for example, if the customer has, we had promised a 1 hour repair to a customer.
Hmm.
There were some delays in the service staff's availability. So based on seasonal requirement for service staff, we were able to onboard gig workers to ensure we cater to these demands during the
Hmm.
seasonal months when we have uh, huge uh, inventories to be installed or filters to be changed. So
Got it.
understanding this feedback data analysis really helps to scale up empathy across all channels.
Got it. Got it. So actually, this is something I would say this is the actual difference between collecting a feedback and listening to a feedback. Right. So these are two, like North Pole, South Pole. There are organizations who just collect, like it's an operational thing for them. That's a, I would say, a task for them. But there are organizations who are actually making a lot of changes within the structure, within their processes, within, making sure they've reduced the time. So we talk about this metrics called customer effort score, right? So
Very
they've
important.
actually worked a lot on that particular part and made sure that, from raising a complaint to getting a complaint resolved is a very seamless process for me. Right. So I would definitely hats off to those organizations that are actually working towards that particular part. Right. So Uday, just wanted to understand, because see, you've been working on the CRM part since extremely, your career towards that particular thing is, very prominent. So just wanted to understand, like, if you have to handpick like a couple of matrices from the VOC structure, right, which actually truly reflect customer emotions. So what would it be, and why? Like what would be that particular matrices or one matrix which you feel is something very every retail sector should adopt, or even if I say you in your experience you have felt that this is something which is a game changer for a retail industry.
The basic metric is NPS, which we capture, and very important, the Net Promoter Score. So,
Hmm.
how happy the customer is, and how probable he is to refer it to your friends. RTF, NPS is very important in collecting VOC. I
Hmm.
think those are basics, the biggest, and you have to measure it and then improve on what customers are saying. Why would what stops them to refer you to their friends and families? Very important is NPS and RTF, and the verbatim based on the detractor analysis on why they would not, and then improve your product and process. And to improve your process, I think one metric which is under valued currently is customer effort score.
Hmm.
You mentioned recently, and I even wanted to speak about it. What is the effort currently? If I There are many companies provide service, but the effort to reaching them is such a humongous task, right? So we'll need to understand as a customer how difficult it is to reach a brand for in case we need a service support, and uh, at every intervals you should have those surveys sent to your existing customers who have reached out to you, how difficult it was, what was the roadblock, was
Hmm.
the IVR, was the support, the online automated response system or the WhatsApp, how based on their response and their detractors reports verbatims, you have to improve your process so that it becomes an easier for a customer to reach out across channels. It could be social media, it could be your call center or WhatsApp. I think uh, the customer's effort has to be reduced. It should be easier for customer to reach out to us.
Got it. So I have, like, if you're talking about close the loop over here, that which is I would say one of the most important part in the entire experience journey, right? That customer needs to feel that my response has been heard, or my complaint has been heard, or someone's there within the brand that who's actually working towards us as a customer. Right. So, like, how do you communicate back to customers that their feedback has actually made an impact, or, like, for example, there might be a lot of people who might have complained about a certain product, or regarding a certain service, or regarding like, a particular store. So how do you make them feel that they're heard? How do you make them feel that they're actually helping you as an organization to evolve?
Yeah. So customers who are complaining are your brand advocates. First, the
Hmm.
thing to understand, if somebody is spending time to complain to you about your product or a process, he actually likes you, likes your
Hmm.
brand, and
Absolutely. I feel the same. I absolutely feel the same, that if there's someone who's complaining, is someone who's a well-wisher.
correct, correct, right. Um, uh, Otherwise, there are many cases where uh, we don't want to give feedback because we don't like that brand. We don't want it to improve. Okay, forget it. You live with whatever you are. But if somebody who's giving you feedback, which means he's really was impressed earlier, and there has been at some stage in his life where he has felt a bit bitter, that's an opportunity for you as a brand to improve his experience. So
Correct.
uh, to ensure customer feedback doesn't get lost, I think especially uh, through multiple channels like WhatsApp, email, in-store, or social media, and then surveys we have sent, we need to first have a centralized, structured, and responsive system, a centralized feedback hub which captures all the feedbacks across the channels,
Correct.
integrate together like
Hmm.
WhatsApp chat, social media, and together build a unified customer journey. So we know that Jayesh or Uday, who has come, they have come from WhatsApp, they had some experience about the product or about the journey from WhatsApp.
Hmm.
And how do I provide the further action to those journeys to Jayesh, specifically tailored communication? By creating, organization should create a unique, unified customer profile tagged to a unique customer ID. Every customer, every individual is different, and we should have a different approach to manage this. It's of course difficult to scale, but have to put your work thought process towards it to develop something to respond to customers in a tailored communication, right? uh, Categorization based on sentiment analysis. So
Hmm.
using AI to auto tag feedback, deliveries issues, product issues, service issues, and analyze those sentiments behind it, and prioritize based on urgency, emotion, or of course the customer value. uh, how do you build all this together through escalation and resolution workflows? So some customers who are your VIP customer, and if he is escalating, should we have a separate workflow altogether? So route
Hmm.
feedback to the right team for a store, ops, or merchandising, and have a specialized escalation management if the customer escalate into a CEO or
Hmm.
through some customers who go to consumer service channels. Should the same basic customer service rep should deal with him? No, we should have a specialized window altogether for such customers who have escalated to a serious levels. Set SLAs at each levels, and have tracked the resolution in CRM. You should, as a customer experience head, have exposure to find out what are my service stats for a normal complaints and escalation complaints for a high level escalations maybe, or I'll say a consumers grievance level of escalation
Hmm.
should have something which consumes my time as well, right? Then how do you close loop, acknowledge the feedback, you provide personalized responses, and let customers know that uh, we have made some changes. For example, there was a customer uh, who wanted who only one customer, we were trying to gather feedback on how is the use of a casserole.
Hmm.
So while you are eating, you are only you're one Indian families have one hand busy, right, while eating. And if you have a casserole which needs to be opened by catching with one hand and opening it, causes a problem. And many customers came to us, and we gathered kind of feedback that can we do something towards it. And last year we launched a one-touch casserole. So based
Oh.
on customer feedback, we have one big button on a casserole. You just press it with your elbow and it opens up. So that was which we heard customers and developed a
Hmm.
product as customers reported. This is what we gave, what customers wanted.
That's nice.
And
That's nice.
so we have a one-touch casserole which did wonders. Uh, Years back, we have a product which where customers were complaining that uh, while eating pickles, the oil was soiling the plates or their hands. So we provided a product in our category where uh, pickle can be stored and the oil can come down to a separate container altogether. You remove that container with only pickle, take your pickle while you are serving food and keep it
Oh,
back.
so it's basically a pickle strainer.
Correct. So this was something which we had started a few years back.
Oh,
So
nice.
we are keeping not only at Hamilton but wherever we have worked, we have to listen to customers and provide that experience. We have dustbins which are we don't need to touch it. Just uh, uh, swing your hand over it, it opens up, and you throw your dust in that. So all these products have been developed through customer feedbacks, which I think it's easily available. We can do it, and every retailer, every customer service experience champion should listen to customers and, of course, write back to those customers either through blogs or, if possible, one-to-one communication whenever we have did or implemented those changes.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that's I would say this is something where exactly technology is helping people out in terms of transforming their products to services to all kind of things. And you were absolutely correct in terms of measuring those SLAs and KPIs, making sure that every single customer is heard just from not from the a customer support side, but on an overall brand perspective as well. Right.
Correct.
So that is phenomenal. That is perfectly I would say that's actually very perfect in terms of working towards the customer growth as well. Right. So like I won't take a lot of time over here, but I have a very like a couple of important questions which I would say that as a customer experience advocate within the retail industry, right? What do you think that what is the biggest CX myth in the today's world? Like in the, like overall or in retail, whichever thing you think is something is a biggest CX myth.
Uh, CX Smith in retail, you're saying?
Like anywhere, like any within CX perspective, or I would say retail, if you think that is something where there's a pretty big myth.
Uh, I think the biggest myth is that customers are expecting uh, uh, the kind of service or product which was available to us 15, 20 years back. Customers have evolved. Remember, our parents wouldn't have really called any call center as such, right? And currently now the Gen Z is expecting at different levels. So the myth is you have to be uh, a portray your brand as an evolving brand, moving beyond price, product quality, and demand, because customers demand a seamless, personalized, and a value-driven experience because of the rapid advancements in technology, mobile devices. Customers now expect instant information, flexible options, and genuine connection with the brands they are dealing with. So I guess these are some important myths where the brand should evolve their support or their products in such a way which resonates or matches to the customer expectations, uh, right from how he welcomes, how the brand welcomes the customer at a physical store or a online store, has to have a consistent experience and provide a personalized approach to each unique customer. If a customer is searching on your website and is logged in, can we match his experience, a personalized experience to each user, is something which will customers expecting currently.
Got it. And one last thing, like this is for all those people, here who belong to the CX industry, you being there, for more than 2 decades. So I just wanted to know, like, what are the three practices do you feel that every individual or a, CX leader should practice to make sure that, they are actually redefining CX on a regular basis?
First thing is active listening. You imbibe this culture that you listen wherever you are, at the call center, at the store. Active listening to customers, to your business partners, to your channel partners, and your employees, because employees deliver the service, right? So I think active listening and create a culture, a company wide CX culture, is something which every CX individual should imbibe wherever he's worked with. If not available in that particular organization, he has to drive that customer centric culture in the organization. He has to drive all the processes. नहीं हो सकता है हमारा सिस्टम तो एसएपी में है, एसएपी में ये 2 दिन के बाद होगा. This will not work. If the customer is demanding that service or a replacement within 24 to 48 hours, you will have to make your systems available. You have to break down those silos. You have to break down the old cultures and make it uh, uplift that particular technology. You
Hmm.
don't have any option available. You have to change. You have to match the customer expectations and cannot really work with siloed data. You'll have to ensure even your billing process is towards a customer. Uh, why would somebody who has purchased on your D2C will take uh, 24 hours to get a GST bill? If he is asking for a GST bill, it should be an easy task for a customer service agent. No problem, sir. I see your request for a GST bill. Here's the new GST invoice, right? It shouldn't take 24 hours that it will send to a different department. So we have to build such processes where uh, technology is used to provide instant gratification to customers.
Thank you. Then this is very helpful. This is actually really helpful for even if I say for someone who's there on the other end, helping brands out in terms of capturing the voice of customer, helping them out in terms of transforming their CX processes. So this is helpful for us as well. And I would really thank you for being here and imparting your knowledge about what customer experience actually is for retail and for Hamilton Houseware. So, but thank you there. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing such powerful insights and talking about empathy, talking about technology, talking about how to transform CX within this retail sector. So this was really helpful, and thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Jayesh, and wish you all happy Diwali.
Same to you.
I'm so
Same to
sorry
you
I have
there.
to wear this today's traditional day at my office. So that's why I'm wearing a traditional dress today.
That's perfectly fine. You're looking fantastic.
Thank you. And I hope that we all, as CX champions, work towards improving customer experience wherever we are. And we gather customer feedback, listen actively, and spread the joy for Diwali.
Absolutely.
So happy Diwali,
Absolutely.
everyone, once again.
Thank you there. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.